As we get to 4 o'clock on your Monday, hard to imagine that here we are in late February, as warm as things have been. Everyone west of I-25 under a red flag warning, though, for 2 more hours. That's because the hot and dry weather has been mixed in with some pretty sturdy winds, and that means any fire could spread quickly.
It is a hold on to your hat kind of day. A lot of gusts out there, too. The wind is really cranking up. Here's a look at the wind speeds we're dealing with to the southeast. There was also a high wind warning for gusts up to 50 miles an hour. Kathy, I know you always say people do not like the wind.
Yeah, and I just think the general vibe out there, just being out there, people are really on edge when we have conditions like this. And simply because of our history here in Colorado, and we know the wildfire season is year-round. And with temperatures close to 70 and winds close to 70 miles per hour, a lot of people are feeling very nervous like they did yesterday. But some relief is coming, and it's just hours away. Outside right now, if you look off to the west, you can see those clouds being pushed vertically. There is a lot of wind in the foothills and over the higher terrain. Travel's actually pretty good on I-70. The snow's come to an end. We've got 60s and 70s still this hour across eastern Colorado. We're typically in the 40s this time of year. We're seeing wind gusts straight out of the west to 50, 60, even 70 miles per hour, and that's creating fire danger, critical fire weather for eastern Colorado, western Nebraska, and Kansas. Potential for gusts to 55 miles per hour and humidity values around 10, 11%. That creates critical fire conditions. Southeastern Colorado could see the worst of the wind with a high wind warning that will continue through tomorrow. But relief is coming. Right off to the west of us comes a cold front that's going to drop 1 to 2 feet of snow in the southern mountains, but also create blowing snow and extremely difficult travel. Denver, you're going to wake up to colder weather with rain showers changing to snow. It's a fast-moving system. It's just going to be a couple-inch snow event for us, but we need the moisture. We need to see those winds lay down a little bit, and we need some cooler weather as well, and that's exactly what we're going to get. So as we watch the temperatures tonight, we're going to run above average. It's a dry, windy night. The winds will ease here in the metro area around sunset, but not for the rest of the Front Range and Eastern Plains till the front comes through tomorrow morning. So I've got lots to cover, and I'll have all that for you in just a few more minutes.
All right, thank you, Kathy. We do get nervous around here when this happens. Hot and dry conditions, not ideal for firefighters today. The West Monument Creek fire burning on the Air Force Academy grounds is just 20% contained. Firefighters from the Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs are responding. The fire has burned 168 acres. There are no evacuation orders at this time. 2 schools, though, did have remote learning days because of the fire. Also today, Fort Carson firefighters responded to a second wildland fire about 11:30 this morning. It burned about 100 acres. It's being fueled by high winds. It's not threatening any buildings, but it is the second fire burning on Fort Carson grounds. The first one burned about 700 acres. The wind even causing problems with a busy day, a busy Monday morning at DIA. Strong winds delayed more than 500 flights, and then there were problems at security.
Yeah, quite a mess. Things bogged down trying to get people through security. At 9 a.m., the West security wait time had climbed up to 40 minutes. TSA saying there was an extremely high number of travelers departing this morning. Take a look at the line in the picture here showing the backups. About 37,000 passengers were projected to be screened before noon, and apparently that's too many. A mother from Colorado accused of killing 2 of her children and hurting a third was back in court in London today. Kimberly Singler was arrested in London back in December and is now going through the extradition hearings. She's facing charges for murder, attempted murder, and child abuse. The 35-year-old disappeared as Colorado police prepared to arrest her for the deaths of her 9-year-old daughter and 7-year-old son. According to court records, Singler was in a long-running legal dispute over the children with her ex-husband. Now, even if the court does rule that she should be extradited, it could take months for her to face charges here in Colorado. The decision would be sent to the British government, who would actually have to order her removal. Before that, there are multiple opportunities for her to appeal. As Denver faces massive budget cuts and an uncertain future as to how to pay for the continuing migrant crisis, Mayor Mike Johnston took the day to outline the city's goals for the new year. At this point, he says every department's still trying to figure out ways to save money, while hinting that Denver will be cutting some services to the newly arriving migrants. Johnston has said that Denver is short about $180 million. He did not make any new announcements today as to how the city plans to make up that money. Instead, Mayor Johnston focused on what he says the city does have the money for. Everything from revitalizing downtown to renaming his House 1000 effort to get more people out of homelessness. It comes as every agency, from the police department to the animal shelter, has been told to look for money to cut.
We have not made any final decisions yet on cuts on the ones that we announced already. And so all of our departments, all of our agencies, we're going to have to find a way to prioritize. Our mayor's office has done the same thing.
Well, coming up tonight at 6 on Next, we'll take a look at why the city says it isn't laying off employees, just cutting some hourly jobs to 0 hours per week. The federal government now trying to block that grocery merger between Kroger and Albertsons. The Federal Trade Commission is suing to stop the $25 billion deal. The FTC now claiming the deal would eliminate competition in the grocery industry and lead to higher prices. The state of Colorado has already filed its own lawsuit to try and stop the merger. The companies argue that the merger will help them compete against non-union giants like Walmart, Amazon, and Costco. Today we're hearing the union's reaction to this latest lawsuit. We're going to have more for you tonight on 9 News at 5 o'clock. A woman in Arvada called Steve on your side. This after she got a sky-high water bill, and she's been fighting the city of Arvada's utilities department over it since last month.
Yeah, she says that record consumption happened when she was away from home and recovering from surgery for a brain tumor. Consumer investigator Steve Steger looked into her case for us, and Steve, she has a lot of documentation as well.
Tons. She brought receipts. She has her sprinkler system tested. She found no leaks. And all of her water bills since that big one are back to normal consumption. The only thing that has changed, the city replaced her water meter.
Julie Mersoni had a scary summer.
Did an MRI and discovered I had a brain tumor.
The tumor turned out to be benign, but recovery from surgery kept her away from home for nearly 3 months. Then, another scare.
Came home, started going through my mail, and I had a letter from the city of Arvada.
The letter explained her water consumption was out of whack and to expect a big bill. When that bill came, her jaw dropped.
I just looked at it and flipped out. I said, this can't be real.
$836 for consumption 3 times what she usually uses during the summer. She usually pays less than $200 that time of year. So she called the city.
And she said, well, you consumed 107,000 gallons of water. And I said, that's impossible.
Julie says her neighbors looked after her house while she was gone, made sure nothing was left on.
Everything was shut down. The toilets were shut off.
She had the sprinkler system inspected for leaks. Nothing. In fact, the only thing that's changed since that big bill, after her complaint to the water department, Julie says a crew from the city came out to inspect her meter. They confirmed that the consumption read 107,000 gallons, but they also changed out her meter. And since then, her consumption is back to normal.
If it read 107,000 gallons of consumption, I think the meter was defective. They disagreed.
They do. In a statement to Steve on Your Side, a spokeswoman for Arvada Water said, the team has done its due diligence to check our portion of the system, finding no malfunctions, and extended the suite of financial support that we supply to all customers. The city did give Julie a couple of hardship credits, knocking nearly $300 off that $800 bill. She is asking for more.
I told him, I am not backing down. I want this resolved in a way that's fair to me and fair to the city.
Arvada Water says they're currently in the process of changing out meters everywhere, and that Julie's fix was just part of that upgrade process to the system. Several utility advocates tell me the best way to fight a water bill like this, especially a municipal water bill, is to contact your city leaders. Judy got through to the utility director, and that didn't get her too far. The city has told me because the home was unoccupied at the time, quote, the reason for the consumption will remain unknown. So in other words, they are not budging. They're going to give her those 2 hardship credits that get her down to about $500, but she usually pays less than $200.
Well, she's actually had real hardship in her life. That's the reason she was out, and it seems to me this would be a funny fight for the city to want to have.
And not many people have that kind of documentation. She had the sprinkler system tested. She had a neighbor come over and turn off the toilets at the house while she was gone because she had people taking care of the house because the neighbors were the ones who found her in the tough situation and then got her to the hospital. So She's just wondering why the city won't maneuver and budge and kind of give her that.
It does seem odd
rate.
they want to fight this one
Yeah,
when she can prove everything.
yeah. Strange. We'll stay
I
on
got a
it.
feeling that maybe this isn't the end of it, Steve.
Who knows?
Okay.
We'll see.
Keep us posted.